Well, here we go. We have one postseason event in the Bassmaster Elite Series for 2016, but it's a pretty darn important one. Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year. Welcome to the Toyota Bassmaster Studios. Tommy Sanders, Mark Zona, and you know, this title is right up there with the Classic.
It is, and what a playing field we have this week, Tommy Sanders. Mille Lacs in Minnesota. Here is the best way to put it. I honestly do not know if there are many lakes that can compare to this in the country for so many different things that are on the line this week. And the number one thing, Tommy Sanders, the Angler of the Year title, one of the biggest in the sport.
Well, let's take a look at the one who's got the lead coming into this event right here by 37 points. It's going to be Gerald Swindle, and look at that record. 6 top 12s through the course of this season. That's just almost unthinkable.
And really started off strong, but it's when he dropped the hammer after Toledo Bend to see this record without a win, one of the most consistent seasons we've ever covered together.
12 years ago, he was Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year. Boy, doing that 2 times, your career is set.
No doubt about it, and it's just really been a different Gerald Swindle throughout the season, and we're going to look at the point standing. This is a 2-horse race between Gerald Swindle and Keith Colmes from Texas.
It has come down to that. Randall Tharp's had a great season. Greg Hackney was the guy in charge for the first half of the season. He ran into trouble at Cayuga Lake. Well, I tell you what, for Gerald Swindle, you know, this is the place. He's got to lock it down right here.
No doubt about it. And our Yamaha unlocked the lake this week, Mille Lacs, Minnesota. What a playing field. You know, and I hate to say this, you look at all this largemouth water, great largemouth fishing. It may not see a cast the entire tournament because this right here, the offshore smallmouth fishing, here's the best way to put it. It is heaven for smallmouth.
All right, day one, we're getting ready to go. Weather, well, it's fall already in Minnesota, as you would expect for this time of year. Gerald Swindle, the guy who's got it in his hands. He can lock this thing down on day one, or he can not do that. It's pretty much all in his court.
Getting ready to get this thing started. I need to catch a pretty good bag today to get where I need to be. So y'all stay with us at the show now. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be bouncy, but there's going to be some big ones hitting the carpet.
Promo from the man himself right there. You're definitely going to count on the big ones hitting the carpet today from all the reports we're getting as Gerald Swindle goes out on a day when he could pretty much put this thing away.
No doubt about it. I mean, really here on day number one, if Swindle is to catch a 20 to 25 pound stringer, which that's weird for a smallmouth lake. Well, not on this lake, not on Mille Lacs. Swindle knows if he just gets his job done today, well, pretty much his second Angler of the Year title, it's in the bank.
All right, win an Angler of the Year, Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year. One of the toughest things, one of the toughest assignments you could ever give an angler, given the strength of the field. 100 plus best anglers in the world. You got to beat them all for consistency over an entire season. Very, very hard to do.
Yeah, I mean, everybody out here's got skill. That's no doubt about it. You know, just a few good breaks here and there, and a few decisions that looked smart when it was over. Blessed, you know, all rolled up into one season. They've just really been fortunate. Kind of been like it. The world's just kind of been in slow motion this year. Big one.
First one's in the boat, a decent keeper smallmouth for Gerald Swindle. Catching a limit on this day would be huge in his campaign to lock down the title before the 3 days of fishing are up, so Gerald Swindle definitely on his way. He's on track. As of right now, day number one of 3 days of fishing on Lake Mille Lacs, and of course the guy coming in 37 points behind Gerald Swindle, the best shot, the only shot really of catching him is Keith Colmes.
And no doubt about it, and here's the strange dynamic with Swindle and Keith Colmes coming into this tournament. They have been the model of consistency all year long, but both of them were vocal after our registration that they have had terrible practices in the final event of the year here on Mille Lacs. And if you look at Keith Colmes' year, boy, there's one that sticks out, the 90th place finish at Bull Shoals. And really, if he would have just been somewhat consistent at that tournament, he'd virtually be neck and neck with Swindle right now.
50 angler field here, so it's harder to move up and down. You have to keep that in the back of your mind as well.
Coming into this season, my main goal was different than any other year. You know, I always want to make the points title. I want to win ALY. I want that worse than anything. Didn't fish conservatively at all. In fact, not fishing conservatively at Bull Shoals is probably what cost me ALY this year. Damn, he grew up. Yeah, a little bit better one there.
Keith Colmes with some keepers in the boat. Keith Colmes, who has a pretty sizable deficit to make up on Gerald Swindle. He'll need a limit of those and probably need to lose them all to bigger fish. More bigger fish on the way from the other guys who have made this Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year race great all year long. We come back to Mille Lacs in Minnesota.
The 2016 Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year Championship is brought to you by Mercury, Minn Kota, Triton Boats, and by Nitro.
Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year Championship postseason time for the Bassmaster Elite Series. 2 years ago, 2014, this tournament was held on Lake Michigan, Escanaba, Michigan. Was our starting point, and Greg Hackney, who would kind of control the conversation all season long, able to stick through rough weather and a long tournament in order to knock down Angler of the Year. A great achievement for this man who had a win during the course of the year at Cayuga Lake up in New York. This season, maybe even more dominant, up to the point where he knocked out his win of the season at Lake Texoma, but that's where things kind of took a different direction.
Exactly right. A rules infraction at Cayuga Lake that would cost him dearly. And really, Hackney has been in the driver's seat. One of the best seasons that we've ever covered with Greg Hackney, but definitely the Achilles heel. It happened at Cayuga. And the interesting thing is we all wondered if he would bounce back after this event, after that infraction, and he's pretty much held serve.
Absolutely. I mean, really, when you get a day wiped out of your schedule, that's kind of the end of your Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year dreams, but an inadvertent mistake is what caused it all.
New York has a law, especially on these glacier lakes, where these man-made marinas, dugout marinas, are private property. And Greg, indeed, had entered one of those areas just by mistake, but his day one catch was disqualified.
Well, again, 107th place. That's last place is what that mistake cost him right there. And that wipes you out. But he came back, fished the next day. I mean, the guy just tried to shake it off as best he could.
No doubt. And here's the great thing about Greg Hackney. He did not give up after that event, and he is on him here at Mille Lacs in a big way.
There's a big one. God, I mean a giant.
Greg Hackney, nice smallmouth there. Hackney obviously fairly tuned in to what's going on here at Mille Lacs over a season that was, boy, up and down is about the nicest thing you could say about that. Very much a tested guy this year and still plugging away, trying to do his best. Another angler, it didn't take him long to get up there in our point standings, Randall Tharp.
No doubt about it. If you looked at the 2015 season with Randall Tharp, the worst of his career, going to this season being the best of his career. Randall Tharp, slow and steady throughout the season. See the first place on Bull Shoals, also showing up here in Minnesota.
That's a big one right there, boys. I saw my line jump when he bit it. That is a grown one. Yep, this is a big one. Oh gosh, jumping in the giant waves. That's the first real big one I've caught today, if I can catch him. I probably just jinxed myself there. Giant. Come on, baby. Yeah. Number 4, still not as big as I thought. By golly, that's a pretty good fish, though.
Randall Tharp, good catching on this first day of competition as well, but Randall Tharp all but mathematically eliminated from winning the championship. Here's the only guy really with a shot at Swindle.
Well, what I got, freaking not pulling no more. There he goes. Oh, he's a big one. Remember when I left back there and I said, there's one? I came back to fish for him. And I got him.
Keith Colmes, again, he's got a lot of ground to make up on this day. He's the guy with the shot at catching Gerald Swindle. And Gerald Swindle now, you all through the season, never over 50th place and usually in the top 12. That's not where he's residing on this day.
No, it's been at least starting to be a painfully slow day for Swindle, because the problem is the rest of the anglers are starting to stack weight. Not the case in Swindle's boat.
Feel like a walleye. No, it's like a big smallmouth now. Oh my goodness. You ain't that big, but I'm gonna put you in this boat.
Gerald Swindle, while most of the field operating at this point with a limit in their boat, Swindle still shy of that limit, but still with the lead in Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year points when we take you to the weigh-in on day number 1. And there's Swindle. He's lost a few steps, but he's far from out of this thing.
We kind of looked at Swindle potentially being able to put that title away here on day number 1, and that is not the case. Keith Colmes staying well, consistent, not a huge bag, but still in the mix.
And as we look at the changed points after the weigh-in on day number 1, there you see it, Gerald Swindle losing a few points to Keith Colmes, but Keith Colmes still has a large mountain to climb. He wants to pull this thing up with Gerald Swindle and make a real horse race out of it with only 2 days of fishing left on the card. Other races we're following, very important ones too, because Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year points can also determine whether or not you make it to the 2017 Geico Bassmaster Classic.
Exactly right. You have to look at some of the names that did not catch them here on day number 1. Ish Monroe, Fred Rumbanis, jeopardizing that classic spot. But really, the story of this tournament right now, Seth Feider from Minnesota, absolutely blasting them.
25 pounds, 8 ounces, 25-8, and the amazing Fighter Man continues to climb the ladder to the Geico Bassmaster Classic.
Yeah, blasting him is the exact word, Mark Zona. What a fantastic day for Seth Feider. Best day he's ever had on the Bassmaster Elite Series. And there you go, right behind Takahiro Mori. You're standing in this tournament from day to day is what determines the movement you make with Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year points. And so that means we got plenty of stories working out there. We'll examine them more. We bring it back to you, the Bassmaster Elite Series, Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year Championship from Minnesota when we return. Welcome back to Incredible. We are finding out Lake Mille Lacs in Minnesota. First time for the Bassmaster Elite Series to be here, and how about this? Postseason action for one of the biggest titles in the sport. Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year. Out in front there, Gerald Swindle in pursuit of this award. We look at the history of it. 46 years they've been handing this out. Multiple wins by these two guys account for a lot of that strange statistic you see there. Only 20 winners in 46 years.
Exactly right, Tommy Sanders. You look at a few names on there that can actually add on to those victories. One of those anglers right now trying to get into that multiple win bracket, Gerald Swindle.
All I said this year when I come in is I just want to fish my very best. I wanted to put, in the scheme of work things, I want to put fishing a priority, you know, the competition. And so far I've been able to do that and fish my very best, but this tournament I didn't. So 2016 has been an interesting ride. It's been fun. I think 20 pounds would move me up 2 or 3 spots and would help me, but you know, it's not as much as what I catch. It's not even as much what Keith catches. It's what the other guys catch. It's going to dictate how it rolls. I'm marking a few right here, right on the bottom. Uh-oh. There's a bite right there. There we go. There we go. Good. Don't you jump. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Oh my God. Had no help. I told you I made it too hard yesterday, dude. Yeah. I need to get my man card back today.
Gerald Swindle with the keeper, continuing to beat himself up a little bit. It didn't get it done yesterday.
No, he did not get it done, but really the other story in this tournament right now is Swindle left the door open, but Keith Colmes did not break through yet.
A little bit bigger over here. That's about a 4-pounder. A little bit better size on this hole.
Keith Colmes, again, a lot of ground to make up to pull even with Gerald Swindle. Is that even doable? Boy, they are catching fish at this place, Lake Mille Lacs, and one of the guys doing it is this man right here. Brent Ehrler, definitely a top-tier guy in the sport of fishing for a good long while, coming off a trying season.
No doubt about it. I think that's an understatement. If you look at Ehler's year, something he's not used to, boy, it has been awesome, horrible, fantastic, miserable, and really, after the Mississippi River Elite Series tournament, that 87th place finish, well, he knew he had to get it done on Mille Lacs, which so far he has done.
This tournament isn't one for me that I'm trying to go and win. This is one that I'm trying to have a high finish. The reason for that is that I was on the bubble to make the Classic. I was in 41st place coming into the AOY Championship and had to have a strong finish to get into that Classic cut, which was at 39. So I was right at the bubble. You know, obviously I have to catch them. I have to do well, but it's also up to what the guys do that are around me in the points to, you know, what they do. You know, I have to have them stumble a little bit in order for me to make it.
There's got it. Oh Lord, that's a big one. Oh my goodness. Oh boy, that's a big one. Good Lord. Oh my goodness. Dude, I think he's an absolute giant. Please stay on. That's a big one. 4-pounder anyway.
Not too hard to read Brent Ehrler's mood right now. Obviously going in a positive direction today, and he needed a positive direction, as you mentioned, Mark Zona, for this entire tournament. Also positive, really spectacular, Seth Feider.
No doubt about it. And Seth Fieder, here's the best way to put it for this angler right here on the Bassmaster Elite Series. He needed to catch them not only in this event, but really the last tournament at the Mississippi River, because, well, if you look above the Mississippi River, it hasn't been all that stellar except for Cayuga Lake. And what we got to see out of Seth Feider at the Mississippi River was so much local knowledge, and he will put that to the test here on Mille Lacs this week. Look at that pick.
I had a great week last week at La Crosse, big boost of confidence, and even bigger boost coming to like my home lake. I was excited to make it, and I'm glad to be here showing off what this lake is capable of doing. And that's the deal with these smallmouth tournaments. It's not about how big your big fish is. Like a largemouth tournament, you know, you go to 40, try to catch that 10-pounder, it's going to salvage your day, you know. And on a smallmouth place like this, it's your small one that determines who wins or loses this tournament. Begging. Begging. I think it was called, but you don't look magnum. It's hard to tell till you get your hands on him. Oh, he's a giant. He's a giant. I just seen him good there. Look at that belly. Come here, come here, come here, come here. Come here. Come here, baby. Come here, come here. Yes! Mega. Mega. Get rid of that little ratty. Put the tank in.
Tommy, would you get a good look at that cull right there?
Yeah, not too bad. Pretty amazing. Seth Fieder, after 2 years of slogging through the Bassmaster Elite Series, really coming into his own the last event of the regular season and here at the championship.
Man, he has proved he has chops here on Mille Lacs. And I know there's a lot of stories with your Angler of the Year title, with your guys trying to qualify for the Classic, but I do not think that we have ever seen smallmouth fishing like this.
Oh, absolutely. Of all the reasons to stick around, this is going to be right there in the top two. The catching that they're doing at Lake Mille Lacs, the incredible giant smallmouth. Yeah. We'll have plenty of that for you when we come back.
Can't believe we landed that thing.
The 2016 Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year Championship is brought to you by Toyota, Yamaha, and by Skeeter Boats.
The Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year Championship. We are on Mille Lacs Lake in Minnesota, this giant natural lake where they are truly catching the smallmouth big time. And one of the big stories, second place on day one, he's taken over the lead on day number 2. A home state son of Minnesota, Seth Feider.
The amazing fighter man, Seth Feider!
We're having fun this week. We got a lot of people up here to see me from, you know, back home, and a lot of people that just live up here, and we're having a blast this week. It's been fun. I think tomorrow's gonna be even crazier.
I feel powerful with hair. I understand how this works for you guys in the entire mullet militia.
It's not called a mullet just because I'm not shaved up top. There's a few different kinds of mullets. This is basically just hockey hair. We're from Minnesota. It's a state of hockey, and I'm just going with it, representing.
You look good with the hair.
I know. I mean, dude,
It's cold 6 months out of the year up here, so you kind of need to keep your neck warm.
Long hair don't care. Oh, good. Be a freaking bass, dude. Be a freaking bass. Feels like a walleye. It's a bass, it's a dang old giant, dude. I think it's a giant walleye, though. Be a bass, be a bass. Oh my God. Did you see that thing? This thing's so big. So big. Dude, I got giant on. Ow, ow, ow. Yes! Yeah, we got some calling to do.
Just wow.
Unbelievable. Incredible amount of confidence for Seth Feider, catching him big time to back up that confidence as well. As we head over to Brent Ehrler.
Really, there's a lot of pressure on Feider and Ehler to catch them, just for the simple fact that Ehler had a miserable practice here.
Uh-oh. That's where the big ones live, right there. I can't tell what size he is. I can't tell. Right back on my juice again. Yeah, look cool. Boy, these things, man, if you're not careful, they will. Don't you do it, don't you do it. Man, he can get me right on the lower unit back there and cut me off. I'm not careful. There we go. He'll call, but that's going to get me to that 19-pound mark, I think.
Pretty sure we're ruined for smallmouth for the rest of it. How will we ever top what we're seeing here on Lake Mille Lacs as we welcome you to the Shell Rotella, Bassmaster Garage, and Mark Zona, the two guys we're watching, so breathtaking the way they're catching them, and Brent Ehrler like a kid who's getting an unexpected Christmas present of his life, and Seth Feider, on the other hand, just operating like it's all happening in his backyard just like he planned it.
Yeah, but there's really a theme that's gone on in this tournament. It's really quantity versus quality. A lot of our anglers are catching 20 to 30 a day, but they're that 4-pound average. And I've never said this on a Bassmaster show. If you're catching a 4-pound smallmouth on Mille Lacs, you need to roll and get away from those numbers. And that's exactly what Seth Feider and Brent Ehrler have done in this tournament. Isolated giant boulders that don't harbor 10 to 20 fish. They harbor 1 to 2, but they're those 5 to 6 pound quality. And here's the thing, if they get 5 to 8 bites a day, they're going to have giant bags.
Absolutely. And these guys just rolling at will, as you say here, versus the guy who's trying to lock down maybe one of the top, well, it is one of the top 2 titles in bass fishing, Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year, and a different story for Gerald Swindle.
I fought this one, ain't we, son? There he is right there. Oh, you dirty little, she got my cricket. I really fought it, man, a lot harder. Man, I'm just telling you, I have not had one of these events all year, you know. It's just like I can't get bit here, you know, and I just ain't had one of these. And I mean, you know what can happen. I mean, it's just fishing. I mean, they serve humble pie and you wash it down with shut-up juice at the weigh-in every day. So I know it can happen, but I ain't had one all year. I kind of forgot how bad they sucked. But I haven't had to fish this kind of rushed all year. I fish very slow, and I've been able to fish like my styles, you know, flipping and pitching and just easing around. And whatever it is, it's big. It is. Giant smallmouth, giant. Oh, look at the size of that sucker, would you?
Gerald Swindle, a limit in the boat. That's a big improvement from day number 1. Really concerned about his performance on day number 1. A limit in the boat, but still not big enough with all the other guys catching him to make a lot of points difference.
No, and not only that, it took till ballpark about 1:30 in the afternoon to catch that 5 bass limit.
All right, we're headed for the weigh-in. Grand Casino Mille Lacs, definitely one of the landmarks on the lake up here. The crowd getting ready to go, and day 2. Got to put it in the books right now with Greg Hackney absolutely slaying him here on Mille Lacs.
No doubt about it. Greg Hackney, one of those anglers, not looking for numbers, but he has found the big ones, and yet another solid day. And here's the angler you have to keep your eyes on with the slipping of Gerald Swindle. Well, Keith Colmes starting to make a little climb.
Could have gone a little bit bigger today, would have helped his cause. Means he's got to do an incredible amount of work on the final day, and Gerald Swindle hanging on to the lead.
The G-Man, Gerald Swindle.
I honestly meant it back a couple tournaments ago. Y'all said, do you think about AOY? I said, only when y'all ask me about it. Other than that, I don't. But, you know, if it's in the cards and it's good Lord willing, you know, I'll take the title. And I just really want to go out and be able to catch a 20-pound bag on Sunday.
Angler of the Year race going to the final day of the season. But the story of this event right now is Seth Feider, Tommy Sanders, sitting right at a 5-pound average.
Unbelievable, catching them like crazy at Mille Lacs. What a place. What a first visit for the Bassmaster Elite Series anglers, and we got the final day of 3 days of fishing at the Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year Championship when we come back.
Angler of the Year, Gerald Swindle.
Well, it's been an even dozen years since Gerald Swindle won his first Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year Championship. That's a big accomplishment for any angler. To do it twice is just as big, if not bigger.
It honestly feels like the movie Back to the Future right now, Tommy. Back to the Future. Let's get out on the water right now, day 3 of competition. You heard Gerald Swindle say, man, I just want to end strong on the final day of the season. Well, he has done exactly that, changing techniques and areas of the lake, and Gerald Swindle mounting a charge.
If it's a smallmouth, it's a big one. It feels like a pike or something. No, whatever this is big, but it's down in that grass. It's a brownie. God almighty. It's a good one. When a white chatterbait come off. That get up your face right there? Big sucker jumped right in your face, didn't it? White chatterbait come on, seducing big ladies. That was old seducing big ladies. The sun got mauled it now.
Yeah, act normal. Do everything your way. That was the claim that Gerald Swindle made this morning. Going to do it his way. Meanwhile, back out to Greg Hackney. A little slower today than it has been the first 2 days. Definitely a good bit windier.
I'm gonna try to ease back up. What's so fast, sucker? Just don't feel like one of them slugs. It may be. No. It's probably about like that last one, I guess. I don't like for him to change directions too much. After he's been out there so long, and start wearing a hole in their mouth. A little better than I thought. Maybe a 4-pounder, you know, not a giant, but start.
Obviously, Greg Hackney going to fish this one out to the bitter end. He'll have nothing better than to bring 25 plus to the stand this evening.
Exactly right. Another angler that has to catch him today, Brent Ehrler, and the area he's on, his only spot.
Oh, they bite, man. It's not going to be easy to hold, you know, on this stuff. We're borderline. You know, it's fishable, but not great. Well, it doesn't feel very big, whatever it is, but it's a fish. Don't jump, don't jump, don't jump. Oh, it's a 4-pounder. Yeah! Man! Oh, I'm so nervous, I'm so worried. 4-pounder. First bite. Yes, please, come more, please.
Seems like every day is one of the best fishing days of his life for Brent Ehrler here. Thoroughly enjoying himself. Tremendous success on Mille Lacs.
And I know what we've said, it's been stressful for a lot of these anglers, but when you catch them like that, what can you say about the final day of the 2016 season? We get out to Seth Fieder right now, and really, if you watch him work on this lake, this is not a numbers dude, man. He is really lived with one primary technique the entire tournament. And that is going to definitely be one thing in this show. That's going to be the Skeeter Boats Taste the Bait of the show. And we're going to break down exactly how he's done it. If you go under the water right now, he is looking for giant, isolated boulders that, here's the best way to put it, when he gets his 4-inch Yamamoto Senko on a drop shot down there near the boulder, he almost marinates it. Just lets it sit around that boulder when he finds, well, just a mark on his graph. Video game fishing, and he will keep that bait in there until that giant one on his graph commits.
That's what you want to feel. Not all that swimming around all crazy like. Oh yeah, begging, dude. Stay on, baby. Stay on, baby. Begging. Stay on there, baby. Stay on there for me. Stay on there for me. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come here, come here, come here. Come here. Yes!
Seth Feider, can you imagine this 3 days of fishing for smallmouth on his way to a 75-pound plus performance? Can you even imagine such a thing? Putting the finishing touches on his day when we come back. Also, the same story for our points leader, Gerald Swindle, at the Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year Championship.
The 2016 Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year Championship is brought to you by GoPro, Toyota, Berkeley, and by Hook.
Final day of a very important 3 days of fishing for the anglers of the Bassmaster Elite Series, or the 50 of them, who have qualified to be here for this points championship. And we're going to take you out to Brent Ehrler right here. As you pointed out, Mark Zona, he had a terrible practice, but has been absolutely brilliant through these 3 days.
Be a big one. Feels like it. Yep, that's a good one. Oh yeah, that's a real good one. Coming back to you. If I catch this fish, I'm going to the Classic. I really think if I catch this fish, I'm going to the Classic. Oh, he's a giant. Oh my goodness, he's a big one. Please, Jesus. Come right to the boat, don't you jump. He's an absolute giant. Please, Jesus. Oh, please, stay down, stay down, stay down. Just get here, get right in my hand. Yeah! Yes! Yes, please! That thing's a giant! Oh my goodness, that thing is so big! Yeah! Yes! 6.5 pounder! Oh my goodness! Yes! Look at that. That's what I just called. I think I'm going to the Classic.
Did you see the size of that smallmouth bass? In all honesty, that is absolutely incredible what Brent Ehrler has done. Not to be outdone right now by Seth Feider. Whether Seth Feider makes the Classic or not, he has absolutely put on a show here on Mille Lacs.
Begging. Begging, dude. I mean, like, he ain't even moving, dude. Look at that. Just dead weight. Feels like a cinder block. Look at that thing, dude. Come here. Come here. Come here. Yeah! Oh my God, dude. Look at that thing, dude. Holy cow, dude. How big is that one, dude?
Tommy, any guess?
I have no words for how big these fish are that Seth Feider is catching right here. It seems like a whole nother planet. Very strange to all of us who've never been in a situation like that, and that's just about all of us. Gerald Swindle now, limit in the boat. Just about got this thing closed down and putting, as we say, the finishing touches on the title.
Biggin. Biggin. Chatterbait. Oh my God. Ah, yeah, what a smallmouth.
Well, the first 2 days of this event, it has been a very strange time in Gerald Swindle's boat. And he said he wanted to cap off strong. He did exactly that on this Sunday.
And now the time has come. We're going to make it all official. Hand out one of the most important trophies in fishing right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, he is a former Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year, looking to join a legendary status and take that title twice. Get loud, ladies and gentlemen, the G-Man, Gerald Swindle. Gerald Swindle, for the first time this season, has struggled this week, but his best day of the tournament comes on Championship Sunday. 5 fish for Gerald Swindle. 5 fish for 22 pounds even, becoming a 2-time Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year. The G-Man, your 2016 Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year. £22 even. How fitting is that? Double deuce, my friend, as you become a 2-time Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year. Tell me what's going through your mind.
I just love to fish. I love bass fishing. So when I started doing it, you take this shirt off, I'm going fishing. It's all I've ever wanted to do is fish and make money at it, and I love it. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. I started fishing because framing houses sucked, and I made money fishing, and I said I ain't never going back. I said, I'm gonna make it fishing, and everybody around me said, you're crazy, you'll never make it fishing. You know, you can't do it. You can do it, guys. I promise you, you can do it. Anybody out here, if you're looking up here and you think you wanna be here, you can get here.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2016 Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year. Let's make this official. We're gonna bring out the 2015 Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year, Aaron Martins, to do the handoff. Ladies and gentlemen, get loud for your 2016 Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year. The G-Man gets it done and finishes in spot number 1.
All hail the G-Man. I tell you, it wasn't by design. It seems like drama follows this guy around. We knew he had it. He could have put it away on the first day, and it just didn't happen, but he got it done when it was all said.
I think he just created that drama for us, so we had a show to do right here. In all honesty, though, you look at an angler that has never won a regular Bassmaster Elite Series event, but his style of fishing is just consistent. It is constantly in the top 30, almost tournament in and tournament out. And the other side of when you win 2 Angler of the Year titles, you are now on a different plateau than the rest of the history of bass fishing.
No one can deny it. Greatness. That's Gerald Swindle. Absolutely. All hail Gerald Swindle. Now, other great stories we were watching all year long. Brent Ehrler salvaging probably his toughest season ever as a pro, right?
No doubt about it. And we have seen wheels on and wheels off with Brent Ehrler all season long. And after the Mississippi River, it was devastation. He did qualify for the Classic. And really the story of this event,
oh man,
Seth Feider from Minnesota resurrecting his career. Here's the deal. He did not make the Classic by points, but this is a catch and a win on Mille Lacs with over 75 pounds, over a 5-pound average of smallmouth. Listen, we will never cover an event like this
That
again.
was my question. We will never see smallmouth fishing like that again. Ever. Will we on the Bassmaster Elite Series?
Till we go back up to Mille Lacs.
All right, we'll do that. We're going to Conroe next time to start the year 2017 with the Geico Bassmaster Classic. I can't wait to get there. Can't wait for you to join us.
5 fish for 22 pounds even, becoming a 2-time Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year. The G-Man, your 2016 Toyota Bassmaster Angler